Hi there, Castlebrook Dragons. This is Mr. Corrigal, not Mrs. Corrigal. She's upstairs. This is Mr. Corrigal talking about a series of paragraphs supporting an opinion. Let's get right to it. How I would study for this test is I would Google search EQAO literacy test rubrics. I would look for, they've got several here, but I would look for the most recent rubric, which should be 2014. You want to make sure that this is published by EQAO themselves because they are the authority. That is a credible source. Click on that. What we should see here is the EQAO gives an example of what each score looks like. Okay, what you see here, you see that this is out of 60 points. You can receive a code 60. You also see here ways that you get 0. So if you leave your page blank, if your response is illegible or irrelevant, or if you are completely off topic, that is how you get 0 points. So you want to stay away from doing that, obviously. However, if you write something in the space provided that is related to the prompt, you get 10 points. So once again, don't ever leave anything blank. You want to get at least those 10 points. Or if you express an opinion with no supporting detail, and there's no evidence of organization, that's how you get a 10. We'll go through the examples of each of these. Let's just take a look at code 60 really quickly. So to get perfect, you want a response that's related to the assigned prompt. You want a clear and consistent opinion. Therefore, you want to choose one side or the other. You want to either agree or disagree, a yes or no. Don't argue both sides of the topic. Your response should be developed. You want to use those point proof analysis clusters. Memorize this wording because it comes up again and again and again. EQA wants you to use sufficient, specific, supporting details. Very important wording. And lastly, EQA wants your organization to be coherent, and they want you to demonstrate a thoughtful progression of ideas. The way that you do this is through your transition words. Okay, let's quickly run through the different answers. This is a code 10. So EQA wants you to use 2 pages or fill 2 pages with your writing. As you can see, this student did not do that. This isn't even really a paragraph. This is kind of a statement of opinion, and it looks like they have 1 paragraph written there. In each case, they provide an annotation, so they're happy that this student did express an opinion, but they were dissatisfied. They said that there were no real details that supported the opinion. This is code 20 or 20 out of 60. Once again, the student did not meet the requirement of roughly 2 pages of writing. But it was related to the prompt. It did express, and it tried to support an opinion. They were dissatisfied because they felt that the supporting details were repetitious or redundant. Also, there was limited evidence of organization. So these are the transition words. This student was sort of rambling, just saying no, because, and, if, and. You want to use more thoughtful transition words than that. This is a code 30. So you're starting to get, this is a 50%, 30 out of 60, but keep in mind that you have to score 75% on this test in order to pass it. So you can see here in the code 30 that the student is still not providing enough writing. They need to fill 2 pages and are not. EQAO is happy because the response is related to the prompt and expresses a clear opinion. EQAO evaluators were able to get the connection between the supporting details and the opinion, but they said that it wasn't always clear, and the supporting opinions were frequently vague. Remember that wording. Sufficient, specific details, which is the opposite of vague. something interesting here, a 30 out of 60, a 30 out of 60. The transition words that were used are firstly, secondly, and thirdly. So while those aren't advanced transition words, they definitely communicate a development. We're moving through the idea here. Here's a code 40, so we're starting to get better now. What you see in this piece of writing, a 40 out of 60, is that the student is using paragraphs, and the student has met the requirement for 2 pages of writing. They filled the space with their writing. EQAO is happy, once again, clear, consistent opinion. There are specific details, but they say only some are specific. So it's kind of a toss-up whether they're using vague supporting details or if they do get specific. As far as organization goes, you can see here that it's a bit repetitious. This student continually says, I think, I think, I think. And there is more thoughtful transition words that could be used. Here's a code 50, so now we're starting to get into the territory where you all want to be. Clearly you can see paragraphs. The space is filled. Once again, a lot of the same good things happening here. The organization is logical. What else do we see? The use of topic sentences. So the first sentence of each paragraph, it should alert the reader where you're going. And let's finally look at code 60. Once again, 2 pages are filled. Clearly this student uses paragraphs. They use facts and figures here, so $4,000. In that case, it is specific, supporting detail. 80%, again, facts and figures that help support their point, their opinion. Organization is coherent. There's a logical progression of ideas, and we see that in these transition words here. This is what EQAO uses as the exemplar. They consider these to be advanced transition words. In order to have a successful future throughout the school year and to conclude, EQAO liked those transition words. Okay, so that's the first 60 points, and that's related to what's called topic development. Okay, there's another 40 points, as you can see here, devoted to writing conventions. So that's what's usually called spelling and grammar and those types of things. What's important to notice here is that even if your conventions, your spelling and grammar aren't very good and they interfere with communication, you still will get a 10. So once again, don't leave the spot blank, because even if you write anything, even if it isn't a very well written sentence, you'll still get 10 points out of 40. And what EQAO is judging you on, they want to see that you have control of conventions, and that your spelling and grammar does not distract from your communication. All right, so even on this one, it's very easy to receive a code 20. So even if your errors do distract from your communication, you can still get a code 20, and code 40 is definitely attainable here. And that's it. Regarding, once again, they do on this website have a breakdown of different conventions, the use of conventions here. So you can check that out on your own. I've shown you how to get here. Maybe I'll just look at the code 40 here and see what they have to say about controlled conventions. There's a variety of sentences, correct punctuation, your use of commas, apostrophes, perhaps dashes, question marks, exclamation points, and those terminal punctuation points. But even here, this student missed a few commas. They had an incorrect verb and some misspellings, but they were still given a 40 out of 40 because they do not undermine, that is, they don't distract from the communication, which is good because, as you may know, even Mr. Corrigal makes mistakes on his brainstorming, and he makes spelling mistakes. But hopefully we can catch those when we draft our good copy. Anyhow, that's it for the rubric. Once again, if you want to check this out, go to Google search EQAO Literacy Test Rubrics, and you'll be able to find all that I've just shown you. That's it for now, and study hard. Thank you very much.